That would be you, Marcella. Go ahead and get us kicked off here.
All right, welcome everybody to our Welcome Week events. Thank you for joining us. My name is Mariceli Santiago. I am the Director of Student Life and Activities here at Central Texas College. And today we're talking to our STEM faculty, and we're not talking about the plants, even though it does include plants. We're talking about science, technology, engineering,
And math.
and math. How can I forget math? And so we have all of these fields within Central Texas College that you can actually participate in, and these degree plans that can help you reach your goals. We're going to start going over these degree plans and options for your career. That's why we're talking about this. Maybe help you identify some of the opportunities that you might have that maybe you had thought about or you want more information. We'll give you some information today. And then if later on you feel like you want more information, we can definitely guide you to that. We can get you in touch with somebody that is the subject expert on the matter. And we'll want to make sure that we can get you rolling. So I am going to ask that we introduce ourselves. We have a great panel of faculty here. And so I believe Dr. Foskett is the one who's starting. So take it away, Dr. Foskett.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead. Is it okay, Marceli, if I go ahead and share right now? Share the
Yes, ma'am.
slides. Okay, let me do that. And you said go into PowerPoint mode, so let's do that too. Can y'all see this? Can y'all see the slides? Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Andrea Foskett. I am the Department Chair for Science and Agriculture. I have with me today several colleagues from my department, Mr. Keaton Ehrig, who is our Ag Program Coordinator, and Mrs. Megan Olshouse, who is one of our intro biology faculty members as well. So, oh, and that was my lights on a sensor. So let me go wave my hands a little bit. All right, there we go. Lights are back on. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the STEM cluster presentation. I'll discuss the the science and the ag part of it, and then hand it over to Dr. Cruz Seeley, who is the department chair for math. And she'll take it over for engineering and math. So I'm going to go ahead. If anybody has any questions, it seems like it's a very informal group here. So go ahead and ask questions, or you can put your specific questions in the chat window as well. So, I mean, I'm sure one of you will be monitoring the chat window. So if there's any specific questions as they come up, feel free to direct my attention to it. So we are the Science and Ag department. We offer several different courses. We offer different degree plans. So I wanted to kind of start off by discussing some of the major classes that we offer. So our major disciplines would include biology, chemistry, environmental science, geology, physics, and some astronomy-based classes as well. And of course, you got this entire program for the ag courses as well. Some of the biology classes that we offer would be intro biology classes for majors and non-majors, anatomy and physiology, microbiology for majors and non-majors. The chem classes we offer would be Gen Chem, certainly organic chemistry as well. Environmental science and of course geology would include physical and historical geology. Physics, a whole range of classes there, college physics, university physics, and also some of the physical science classes. Astronomy would include solar system and stars and galaxy. Ag, I'm going to have Mr. Ehrig discuss that, but there's about 38, 40 different courses that we really offer, a broad spectrum of classes that include ag industry, computers in ag, basic intro to animal science, something more specific related to like beef cattle production, or maybe even animal health or animal reproduction that we talk about. If you're interested in equine science, you've got those classes as well as Western horsemanship. Then of course you got the greenhouse end of things, so the more of the plant end of things. So you got the horticulture classes, landscape design. That's a pretty interesting class for those of you that are interested in that particular sub-discipline, home gardening, viticulture, if you're interested in growing grapes as well, and wine production. So those are a broad range of classes within the science and ag department. So why pursue a science degree? What are some of the benefits of actually taking some of our classes and following through with an Associates of Science degree in either biology or environmental science or what have you? First of all, many of the science classes and ag classes are in high demand. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for our science degree graduates. I mean, and this could include different careers in biology. If you were interested in, say, becoming a biomedical technician, or in chemistry to become a chemical engineer or a biochemical technician. Other biology careers would include, of course, microbiologist, molecular biologist, or if you wanted to do like to be more of an epidemiologist, things like that. Certainly environmental scientist, maybe geologist, exploration geologist, or maybe even a meteorologist. All of these are possibilities. If you're interested more in the physics degrees, of course, you got the nuclear physicist, real high-end, very specialized, or an astronomer for that matter. All of these degrees will typically bring in higher wages. We have a slide that actually gives you a breakdown of that, so we'll get to that in just a little bit. And the cool thing about this is that there's a lot of crossover. There's a crossover between the different disciplines. So if you were interested in two specific science sub-disciplines, you could kind of blend them together and you have a hybrid where you could, maybe if you're interested in biology, but you also have an aptitude for physics, you could maybe become a biomedical engineer, right? Or maybe biology and chemistry together where you're a biochemical engineer. Or maybe biology and math and statistics together where you could be a computational biologist. Or maybe you want to pursue something that's more research oriented with some kind of integration with the clinical side of things. So that's, of course, where you could become a research scientist, either in a four-year university or maybe biotech or pharmaceutical companies. There's so many different possibilities. They're quite endless. How do you pursue a degree in the science field, and then where do you go from there? So at our level, we are a community college. We do offer two-year degrees, associate's degrees in several of our programs. There are 2 biology tracks. There's an environmental science, geology, as well as a chemical track, chemistry track. Most of these degrees that you obtain here at CTC or any other community college really would be a gateway to transfer those degrees to kind of move into a 4-year program at a university setting. But of course, the very first thing you want to do is to decide if really science or any of the sub-disciplines are the right choice for you. That's something many people know off the bat, right off the bat, you kind of know exactly what your focus is. And at other times, you really have to take these classes, interact with your peers, talk to faculty, advisors, counselors, and to kind of get an idea of whether this is the right choice for you. And oftentimes you come in without much focus, but then as you take more and more classes, you decide maybe biology is where I want to be, or maybe that's not the right choice. Maybe I want to pursue geology. So it really just depends. It might take some time for you to get there, but eventually, most of our associate degrees that you get here in the science field is to help you move on to a 4-year institution where you would pursue a bachelor's degree, and then ideally would also consider a master's degree. Most of the higher end jobs, which bring in a very, very reasonable, very decent salary, would require at least a bachelor's, and even better if it was a master's degree. Some very specific teaching disciplines, research and engineering kind of disciplines may also require a doctoral degree. So this is a stepping stone. I mean, you get your 2-year coursework out of the way, and then hopefully that helps you integrate into a 4-year institution. So here are our Associates of Science degrees that we offer here at the Science and Ag Department. two biology tracks like I was mentioning, and hopefully you can see the cursor here. One's an organismal biology track, the other's human biology. We have an associate science degree in chemistry and also two other degrees in environmental science and geology. So I won't go into all the details of what those degree plans would entail, but really, if you are interested in something like this, I think your best option would be to come speak with us. I mean, come talk to us at the department, so that we have specialized experts in that particular discipline who can guide you through that process. So what do you do with these degrees, whether it's biology or chemistry, environmental science, or what have you? And who's hiring, right? I mean, that's definitely a very pertinent question to kind of keep in mind. So like I was talking to you, there's so many different possibilities for careers in science. Many different government agencies are looking for science graduates, like, for example, the USDA, CDC. There might be other specialized branches or agencies that are involved in biosafety, maybe even chemical weapons. So many different things that they're looking for, which requires certain specific expertise in certain subdisciplines within the science programs. Certainly universities, like I mentioned a while ago, if you were interested in teaching, and maybe teaching and research together, that would be a way to go at the university level, where you're training our future biologists or our future chemical engineers. And at the same time, you are also furthering research, and especially great for medical research, where you have an integration with the clinics and with the hospital setting, and you're looking at biology problems and looking at different pathologies, for example, but you are kind of working hand in hand with other doctors and MDs and other disciplines like that. So certainly a good opportunity if you're interested in research is to pursue something with a university. Mining companies, of course, for geology or any environmental scientists. Manufacturing companies looking at, okay, developing equipment, different sensors, maybe biosensors, certainly data science, analytics, all kind of important in the sense of manufacturing companies. Of course, research labs are always looking for science graduates. They want research scientists or research technicians, people that can actually do the experiments, who have a biology background, or maybe it's a chemistry background, if it's a biochemical research company or a lab. So those are all fantastic opportunities to kind of keep in mind and explore. And of course, last but not the least, healthcare. Healthcare is a very broad branch. A lot of these graduates would more than likely have a degree in biology and then pursue something that's related to either nursing or maybe a radiology tech, or certainly MD, right? An actual medical doctor. So there's a lot of possibilities there as well. MLT, that's definitely one. Phlebotomy, histology, all possibilities with science degrees that you could use in the healthcare system. So I kind of touched upon this. There's a lot of, I guess, crosstalk and cross marketability between different disciplines that we offer within the science programs. Some interesting careers to keep in mind: forensic science. Maybe some of you are interested in kind of using some of the biology principles that you have learned, like DNA fingerprinting, to analyze a crime scene, right? I mean, maybe that's something you would be interested in, and that's just a starting point. There's so many other possibilities there as well. You could use science or your understanding of science even in law, basically understanding policies and being able to patent. All of that would be very relevant careers as well if you're interested in that field. And you would think politics may not really play a role here, but actually that's pretty interesting as well. So you are certainly, if you were in politics, you would be furthering, say, for example, policies that are used at community colleges and university systems to help promote science programs and things like that. So you're an advocate for especially educational institutions, but at the state level or at the national level as well. And certainly being able to use science, and Dr. Cruz Seeley will talk about this, use applications in engineering, which is again a very fascinating field there as well. So I think we're missing a slide, so I'm going to go ahead quickly and talk a little bit about, before I hand it over to Mr. Eric, I'm going to talk a little bit about salary ranges. So really this kind of varies depending on whether you have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or certainly a doctoral degree as well. So if it was more at a technician level, either in a company setting, a university setting, or a lab setting, for example, the salary ranges would be anywhere from 45,000 to, depending on your experience, it can go up to about 70,000 and even upwards. The more specialized your degrees are, engineering degrees, biologists, molecular biologists, geologists for sure, all of those degrees would be a little higher, and it can go as high as $130,000. So you have a broad range there to work with depending on your skill set and your level of education as well. So I think that kind of wraps up the science portion of a quick snapshot of what science programs and degrees have to offer. I'm going to hand this off now to Mr. Keaton Eric, and he's our Ag Program Coordinator. Take it away. And let me know when to advance your slides.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dr. Foskett. So, like she said, my name is Keaton Eric. I'm the program coordinator for the agriculture program, and the ag program consists of kind of 3 different topics that pretty much cover the majority of the agriculture industry, especially in our area. First one is farm and ranch. Second one is kind of the horticulture, more greenhouse type stuff, more plants. And then we also have the equine portion of our program. Now, I'm going to start off with our farm and ranch program. We have some stackable certificates. So you earn 1 certificate, you earn our 2nd certificate, and then from there you can actually continue on and come out with a Associates of Applied Science degree. Lots of opportunity out there in the ag world, all the way from entry level all the way to management. The ag industry is especially hurting for some great help out there in the industry. If you want to work in a part of the ag industry, we can kind of help guide you towards that and help you get a great foundation here at Central Texas College to move forward. Now, we are very fortunate for most community colleges on our level to be able to have some hands-on experiences. Part of that experience is the Farm and Ranch Center, what you see in the picture there. Now, that water in that pond is gone. We have to remember we are in a very, very large drought. That pond is completely dry at this point in time. And so that is part of agriculture. That's something we worry about every day. We worry about the cows and the horses of what they eat, what can they eat, are we going to have to supplement them, those kind of things. And so that's some real world application that we can offer you here at Central Texas College in the ag program. Now, we are very fortunate because we do have about 200 acres of land that the ag program gets to facilitate classes and laboratories in. We have a small cow-calf Brangus type cow herd that we use for reproduction purposes. So if you take animal repro, we actually will go out and palpate cows. We'll actually go out and do breeding soundness exams on the bull, and really try to work on that kind of thing. On the equine side of thing, we're very fortunate. Currently we have 9 horses. We just purchased, the college purchased 2 facilities or 2 fillies this summer. And our plan is as they go through the behavior and training courses that they will become part of our breeding stock. And so we will use those to breed our own and raise our own horses here at Central Texas College for our students, you as students to use and learn off of. and to have just a bigger impact in the equine industry. If you want to go to the next slide, Dr. Foskett. So I previously talked about two of our really big topics that we do in the ag program. Another one is our greenhouse. So part of the greenhouse we are very fortunate to have. Again, our community college of our size, most of them don't have all this type of facilities, but we are very fortunate to have it. Our greenhouse is made up of 3 different rooms, so 3 different kind of climate setups. Where students in agronomy, horticulture, turf grass, viticulture, anything dealing with the plants, a lot of our labs are held in the greenhouse where we conduct small experiments to get a great understanding of what plants need, what they don't need. Can they have too much? Can they have too little? One thing we did add this summer, with the great support of our administration here on campus, is a hydroponic system. So basically growing plants without soil. And that's, we got lettuce growing right now. We're very, very fortunate for that. And it's going to be a great addition to our list of things that we can expose you as a student to move out in the industry. We're very fortunate that we have some companies here not too far from here in Killeen that are doing hydroponics. So there are some job opportunities locally, and we're starting to see more vertical farming. We're starting to see more hydroponics or aquaponics going in out there in the industry, especially in some really urban areas, taking old warehouses and putting stacks of leafy greens on top of each other with LED lights, and they're doing it at a very economical rate and able to maybe end some of the food deserts, especially in some of our larger communities that may not have a grocery store at a really close area. So people can get that farm to fork opportunity, as well as providing great healthy options for families out there to be able to make sure their entire family's fed in a very healthy way, so we can enjoy lots of years of life here. If you want to go to the next one, Dr. Foskett. And like I said before, there's a high demand for ag industry in our area, in the state of Texas, in the U.S. There's a huge opportunity out there for you to be your own boss. If you wanted a small garden area, so you would sell at farmers markets or get into some of the niche marketing thing, market your own beef, poultry, pork, that's a great opportunity for you. If you enjoy working outdoors, agriculture can be your thing. Luckily, I'm very fortunate. I love the outdoors, so I get to work about half my day outside and half inside. And so I get outside and get that great vitamin D coming from the sun on us first thing in the morning, and get some things taken care of here on campus. And so if you enjoy the outdoors, it's a great place to work, is in the ag industry. Things you do here in the U.S., other people do in other parts of the world. So if you want to be a world traveler and go see some things, the opportunity is there, and the ag industry can help provide that. You get to work with your hands. I'm a farm kid at heart, grew up farming. So doing things with my hands is very important to me. It makes my self-worth feel like I'm actually doing something. And so being able to get my hands dirty, do something, build something, be able to apply my hands and apply my knowledge to it is a great opportunity. And you get to grow your own food. So if you don't even want to do anything in the industry, you just want to learn how to maybe grow a garden, you want to be able to produce your own and provide for you, your neighbors, and your family, hey, that's a great opportunity right here to come to CTC and be part of the ag program and get some really great roots in the soil to set yourself up for a great foundation moving forward. So lots of opportunity there. If you want to go to the next one, Dr. Foskett. And so we have certificates of completion in ag industries and production technology, which those are part of the stackables that I mentioned earlier that you can then, which will help lead into, go ahead and move to the next one, please. We can apply those to the equine management program, the agriculture production, the horticulture management, and all of these can help prepare you to transfer to a university to help earn a bachelor's degree. So if your goal is to leave CTC and go to a 4-year academic institution, we can be your first 2 years. We can get you set up for success to go to those other 4-year institutions. We have a lot of great options in the state of Texas, and there's a lot of great options outside the state of Texas. If you want to go do that, we can help set you up for success, and I'll help you kind of set your path forward and help you get to where you need to be so you can go be successful at those 4-year institutions that are available to you here in Texas. Next one, please. And here's a slide that Dr. Foskett was referring to earlier. Now, I will say, if you see the agriculture average salary, that number is everything from a local harvester, so people that are working in the fields to harvest any produce or any vegetables, all the way up to a PhD level. So that number it's an accurate number, but you have to see through it a little bit because you can do so much more than that. You can make $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year working for a company, and any of the ag companies real easy, especially in this day and age because there's such a shortage and there's a lot of opportunity out there. Dr. Foskett, I'll hand it off back to you. I think you might be
Unmute
muted.
yourself, ma'am. Just press on the space bar. Maybe. Okay, so
Here we
Well,
go. Can you hear me now?
now we got you.
Okay, I tried it several times. Third time's a charm. But I think Mr. Eric's covered the ag part, and I've covered the rest of the salary scales as well, for either whether it's biology or chemistry or environmental science, physics, what have you. And so you can see it's a broad spectrum of salary ranges, really, again, depending on your specialization as well as your ultimate, level of education as well. I think that pretty much wraps up the STEM and ag part of it. So I'm going to advance to the next slide. And maybe, yep. All right. So over to you, Dr. Cruz Seeley.
I don't do computer science.
Oh, okay.
I
Well
don't know who
then.
computer
Okay.
science is.
I will take
Just-
over computer science if you guys don't know about computer science.
Yeah, I think that's Dr. Catherine, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I will kind of explain. Here's the thing about computer science. And even though, and I know we have somebody who's very interested in computer science right now is one of those fields that really has become integral in terms of every single little thing that we do. Everything starting from your phone to the way that now, being able to your lights, managing your lights, your doorbell, everything, your car, and all of that. All of those things have a component of computer science. And even when you go into robotics and all these other things, there are aspects of it that have to do with computer science. And so, and that's why they have this here. Code is not like other how computer book works. It's really way more than that. It is more information than what people think. It's almost like a different language, and we really have to take that into consideration. So can we take the other slide, please? So one of the things that we have is that if for those individuals that are interested in actually transferring to a 4-year degree, we do have an associate's of science for computer science that is fully transferable within Texas. And this is actually true for basically, I think, every single department. There's at least one degree plan that will transfer fully within each department, and sometimes more than one. if you're wanting to continue your education in Texas for a bachelor's degree or above. And so I know that we work together with, for example, Texas A&M down the road, and making sure that what we do here is going to be directly fed into what their needs are for a bachelor's degree over there. Now, the computer science associate is a little bit more generic. It is not as intense or specific as some of the other more specialized degree plans that we have. So if you could go next, please. Next slide. This is typical earnings for somebody after completing a bachelor's degree. And if they, depending on what they're doing. So we have the computer programmers can easily make over $84,000. Software developers, when it comes to applications, over $108,000. And then we have the software developers, which have to do more with system software, can make about the same, if not a little bit more. So this is after completing your bachelor's degree. Keep in mind that you don't necessarily have to, there's a lot of individuals out there that don't have a degree plan, and they work in computer science or doing some of these some of these things. However, as time has gone by, they have been more of a demand and a need for the education to back up what the computer science actually, to back up not just knowing how to program or doing, or how to create applications and things like that. They actually are starting to require more, not just that part of it, but the education as well. And if you could go to the next slide. Oh, they didn't really include a lot in here, but one of the things that I know, Jay, you mentioned that you're interested in some of the degree plans that we have here to offer. So before we go on, I want to mention this. One of the biggest degree plans that right now is fairly new and it's extremely hot is the degree plan that has to do with cybersecurity. It does fall into what the computer science department does. And one of the neat things that we have is that the professor that teaches that, the students actually end up going to competitions in cybersecurity and making sure that they learn more about what how to actually apply the things that they have learned. It is not just learning in the classroom, but there's also a practical part to it. We also offer a lot of the certifications that a lot of the people do look for, even if you don't get the full degree plan. We do offer the certifications such as the CompTIA, the Microsoft server applications certification. And even if we don't, we'll prepare you to take the test, because a lot of these things are these are tests that are known in the industry and are required a lot of the times if you want to work in these systems. And what we'll do is we'll actually prepare you to take these tests so that you can pass it and be ready for these qualifications. Every single department at CTC pretty much has those stackable degrees like Eric was talking about. And so you can either just take a certification that prepares you to take like CompTIA or like the Microsoft server management, IT help desk, things of that nature, or you can continue, take those, and then once you're done with those, then you can continue and get that associate's degree in computer science, which is a little bit more encompassing, more generic, but will also help you be able to get your bachelor's degree later on. And I'm not sure, Jay, if I answered your questions or if you have any other questions, but if you do, please put them in the chat and let me know, and I will do my very best to answer them, because even though I am not the subject expert on the matter, I talk to people all the time about these degree plans, and I know a little bit more than most. So I'm going to pass it to Dr. Celie Cruz.
Dr. Oser, that's who's in charge. I couldn't think of her name. Computer science. Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Cruz Celie. I am the mathematics department chair. And I just want to start off by saying throughout this entire presentation, everything that they have listed involves math. Okay. So in order to get any of the other things, you have to do math first. Whether you want to be a doctor, MD doctor, you have to go through calculus 2. Like, you know what I mean? So all of these degree plans involve mathematics, engineering, at least Cal 2, Cal 3. So I would really strongly recommend that if you know that you want to be in STEM fields and you know what four-year university that you want to go to that university's website and pull that degree plan to see exactly what courses that you need to take in order to fulfill that degree plan. But in here at CTC, we do give you, I think Dr. Foskett talked about it earlier, a really great stepping stone. We get you that door to get through and complete your other 2 years. And I'm not, I know that you probably think, oh, she works at CTC, so she's giving me a strong plug, but I went to a four-year university, and when I went to my freshman class, there was literally 200 students there along with me. There was 200 students in one classroom, in an auditorium classroom. My professor never even knew my name. So the fact that you would start here at CTC, where I know, especially if you're in my program, I know who you are, and I'm going to pull you in and say, hey, what are you doing? Like, what happened? Is there anything I can do to help you? Why aren't you taking a math class this semester? We'll have that kind of relationship with you, and so we'll know who you are, and we will know, you know, to help you get through the program. So next slide. So this is mathematics, engineering, and robotics. So CTC offers an associate degree of science in mathematics, and we do offer robotics degrees, which is brand new. This is the first session that we have launched our robotics program, and then we also have engineering degrees as well. And so if you know you want to be an engineer, but you don't know what type of engineer you want to be, coming through us is a really great way to start, because we introduce you to what does a mechanical engineer do? What does an electrical engineer do? You know, like you would think that they're kind of the same, but they're different fields. What does an aeronautical engineer do? So biomedical engineering, what do they do? So really learning the dynamics of the job and seeing if that's something that you're interested in is definitely something that my department covers, saying, hey, let's show you what they all do and see which one that you find more interesting and help you get through that program. One other thing that I do want to highlight is that when you start here at CTC, I strongly encourage that you do get your associate's degree. And the reason why is because then you would be math complete, especially if you're going for a math degree. For example, let's say that you go through our math degree and you decide, you know what, I took calculus 2, I'm done, I'm moving on to Texas A&M or something like that. Texas A&M might go further in their Cal 2 than we do. So they might reject your Cal 2, and that might be at any four-year university. However, if you are calculus complete here, which means you've taken Cal 1, Cal 2, and Cal 3, wherever you go in Texas, we've covered all of the material, even if it was spaced out differently, and they will accept your credits. So it's really important, if you start here, you want to try to get math complete. So that's just a plug for my specific program. Let's see, next slide. Let's see. Okay. How much money do we make? After researching this, I wonder why I'm still a teacher. No, I'm just playing. Okay, I'm just playing. I love what I do. Okay, I love what I do. But you could honestly be an actuary. An actuary kind of like different people hire them. Insurance companies hire them. Stock market hires them to kind of anticipate what's going to happen. These people start at $100,000 a year. Start there, okay? And so I just want to throw that out there, okay? Data analysts start about 62.5. I pulled more. Mechanical engineering, national average starting at 83,000, and that's usually with a master's degree. Electrical engineering, 87,000. To be a statistician, 84,000. I'm saying this wrong. Economists, just to predict what's going to happen in the economy. It's not looking so hot right now, but you know, it's your job as an economist to figure out what's going to happen, how we're going to bounce back, what's going to happen with inflation. Very, very good applicable stuff. They start at $99,000 a year. So it can be a really, you know, good salary, and I know that we're supposed to tell you how much they make, But at the end of the day, guys, you just want to wake up every day and be happy to go to work. Like that's, you want to be happy with your job. And I know that Keaton was talking about that. Like, I love working outside. This is Keaton, not me. I love working outside. Like he feels fulfilled in his job. So I really stress to find not only the money. Yes, everybody wants to make money, but really you want to be happy going to your job every day. And a lot of students ask me, like, why aren't you an actuary? Because they look at data all day and that's all they do. And that's just not fulfilling for me. But if that's something that you would want to do, then that's great. And then that's the path that you can go. So if I were to give you any advice, it's really just to find what you're passionate about, something that you're happy to do every day, and then that's what you should go towards. And it's okay if you don't know what that is yet. Okay, it's absolutely okay. So it's okay, and especially here at CTC, we try to help you find what that is. Okay, so I really suggest to talk to, like, we're here, we're open books. You can come to my office, you can go to Dr. Foskett's office, sit down and say, I think this is what I want to do, and we'll help you. And then if you switch your mind, if you change your mind next year, cool. All right, that's fine. So just really trying to figure out what you want to do. Okay, next slide. Why math at CTC? I covered that. I really did. I just like, it's really a stepping stone to any of the degree plans that were listed here today. And also really trying to be complete in mathematics so that all of your credits transfer. So that's why I would definitely take math here with us at CTC and take all of them. Next slide. Oh, these are the ones that we talked about that we offer. We do offer Associates of Science degrees in engineering. We have mathematics degrees, applied science. And then, like I said, we're just launching our robotics program. If you would like a robotics certificate to attach that to your resume, please come see me. We would love to have you in our program. Next. Okay, so I think I talked about aerospace, biomedical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, petroleum engineering. We have this really awesome course where we show you what all of these fields do, and then you're like, oh, that's what I'm interested in. Because like I said before, a lot of students are like, I want to be an engineer, and I'm like, yes, awesome, what kind? Okay, they just know they want to be an engineer. So this is a really great introduction to engineering class that I would suggest that you take if you're just even interested in engineering, just to see what type of engineer you want to be, or at the end of saying, you know what, I don't think I want to be an engineer. That's okay too. So at least you kind of go through it and kind of figure out what you want to do. Average salary, average is 90,000. Again, we talked that this can change with your specialty. It can change with type of degree that you have. So this is just kind of an average. Next slide. Why engineering? We have a really great program. We work really in sync with UT, University of Texas, Texas A&M in College Station, Texas A&M here. We have a mechanical engineering degree. So we literally can pick up the phone and talk to the engineering program at these schools. So we want to make sure that we create a clear path. And I promise you, I can throw a stat at you, 100% of our engineering majors have found a job. We keep in touch with them. Okay, so we keep in touch and we call them and saying, hey, you just finished your 4-year, where are you going? And they have found a job. I think it was like 98% transferred to a 4-year university. And so it's really, really, like, we really try to stay with you and make sure that you complete your task and get you to that 4-year university. Because as Dr. Foskett said, I understand there's not a lot in the STEM field, honestly, that you can do with an associate's degree. There's some fields that you can, but we want to get you to that 4-year university with a clear path of getting you your bachelor's and onto your master's degree. Okay. Next to that. Oh, robotics. So we, it says applied science starting fall of 2020. It's fall of 2022. That's a typo for me. It's my bad. Okay, so we just started this term and we're super excited about it. And like I said, if you want to hear more about our robotics, we're actually thinking about doing a kind of like a robotics competition in the next year, which is going to be super fun. Anytime I think of robotics competition, I think of that movie where you get those big robots that fight each other. Not necessarily going to be that exciting, but it still will be exciting. Okay. All right, next slide. Robotics, who's hiring? Tesla, just saying, it's in Austin. They're coming, right? Tesla's hiring. Meta is hiring robotics and also computer. They're setting up in Temple. So they're the ones, if you go on Facebook right now, you see powered by Meta. So they're going to be hiring and they're coming up here in Temple in the next couple of years. So those are really great employers. Samsung is still hiring, AT&T, they're in Austin. They're still hiring, but they really would like you to have that kind of robotics tag along with your degree, because you're going to be working and programming these kind of robots that make the cars, you know what I mean, or make the kind of engineering. So you want to make sure that you're that you get this along to tag onto your degree plan or your resume. Okay, next. And I have those videos. I know there's a link to videos. So I would love for you to take time to watch them. I didn't want to push play now, but we did link the videos of why you would want to join that program and the cool things that we're doing here in our department. So come see me. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And back to you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for participating. Jay, I know that you were really, listening to everything. Do you feel like did you got your questions answered, or do you have any more questions for us? I know that that was something that you were looking to maybe expand a little bit of knowledge on, and we had a conversation about that a little bit earlier. So please just let me know if there's anything else. If not, I just want to say thank you to all our participants. Thank you very much for, as usual, to participate and help all the students out, figure out what they want to do with their lives when they grow up or when they're older, or, as things grow. And a lot of individuals right now are starting to change their mind. They were doing one thing and now they're moving in a different direction. And that can definitely be a transition time for them. And they're trying to figure out what that could be. I'm hoping that this is a tool that they can use so that they can figure out what that next step is going to be or what that could look like. So once again, thank you to everybody. I really appreciate all the time that you have given us, and we hope you have a great day.
Thank you. And just very quickly, I think Bruce put up the information for the Science Center. So we are in building 257, and that is a good contact number for us. If you have any questions regarding science or ag, we'll make sure we get you in contact with the right faculty member that has the discipline-specific expertise. So thank you for listening in on the STEM cluster today.
Also, a quick reminder, if you are interested in a career in construction, manufacturing, transportation, we will have another one of these career cluster sessions tomorrow at 3 o'clock via WebEx. So join in then and maybe pick up some information to kind of expand your horizons if you haven't decided what you wanted to do. This is just another tool to kind of learn more about what CTC offers in those areas of industrial technology, aviation, and so forth.
All right. Thank you.
Right.
Bruce, you want to take us out?
I will. We are officially stopped recording.
I don't see it.